guys? Corey Margera here, new episode. And I basically want to do a video about what Vince Russo said about Sami Zayn. But before I do that, I have to give a shout out to this really cool guy on YouTube. He's a subscriber of mine, and he deserves a shout out more than anything, especially because I just found out that he recently does videos here on YouTube, and that is Salem. Um, Salem, Ibrahim. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. But this guy is a really cool guy on YouTube. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to his YouTube channel so you can check out his videos. He does a lot of really good movie reviews, DVD collections. He talks a lot about, the film, just different types of films, silent films, anime. He does a lot of really cool videos. So if you're into that stuff, not just wrestling, go check out his channel. Link is going to be in the description in this video. And, I just want to give him a shout out. He's a very intelligent young man. He's a very intelligent black man. He does not fit the stereotypes. And he's actually a guy that a lot of you need to take notice from. This guy is very intelligent. He talks, about movies and what he likes in them. He talks about the cinematography. He talks about, like different shots and, different themes in movies in his reviews. He's very, very, very smart. And, I definitely want to give him a shout out in this video. So, if you've never heard of him, go check out his YouTube channel. Link is going to be in the description. All right. And with that said, let's get back to Vince Russo here. All right. Now, he basically talks about Sami Zayn and says, that Sami Zayn has no character and that, it's WWE creative's fault for basically sending Sami Zayn out there on Raw. And he talks about how Raw's ratings went down. They were it was one of the lowest rated Raws all year. And, basically I haven't watched Raw. So I haven't watched NXT. I don't watch wrestling that much anymore. I'm really getting sick of the product. So I can't really judge Sami Zayn. But I am going to take Russo's word for it because, all you internet marks, all you IWC, YWC people need to realize that wrestling is entertainment. This business has been driven by entertainment, shock value, controversy, somebody being the better man, another guy kicking another guy's ass. That's always been what wrestling is about. That's always been anyone that's going to tell you some bullshit like, oh, it's all about how many flips you can do, how many moves you have, how many submission holds you have. Fake submission holds, let me remind you, because they're not real like in the UFC. This business has always been about entertainment, and I am not the biggest Vince Russo fan, Mark, whatever you want to call it, but I do agree with him on certain things about this business, and the fact that this is an entertainment business and that people are not going to want to go out in droves for a fake wrestling match is true. This has been proven. All right, when bland wrestling and people with no characters, people like Dean Malenko and all these other, Austin Aries. I mean, look at TNA's ratings. TNA's ratings. All right, we're not talking about Destination America because obviously they're going to lose ratings on that station because it's not a viable station. Not everyone has Destination America. But when they were on Spike TV, like Spike TV or not, I personally don't like Spike TV. Especially with the Spike TV Game Awards. They really fucked up a lot of... I'm not even going to get into this video. I'm not even going to get into that, but, Spike TV really is a real crap channel. I'm going to be honest with you. The reality is they are a major network. They are a major cable network. They are widely known. Spike TV is known. People know about Spike TV. When Raw was on Spike TV, it still got high ratings. All right, and that's a fact. All right, not high ratings, not like Attitude Era high ratings, but a good. They got good ratings. People still knew Raw was on television when it was on Spike TV. Okay, so let's just get that out of the picture. So and the fact of the matter is, TNA had numerous opportunities, and the fact of the matter is, technical wrestlers don't draw money. Vince Russo is absolutely right about that. All right, the only people who are gonna drive in droves to see a good technical wrestling match are the minority people that literally have nothing else better to do than talk about wrestling. All right, no one is gonna get bent out of shape over a fake sport, a fake pseudo sport of entertainment. No one's gonna get bent unless there's like a controversy, or like there's really cool characters that people can relate to, like Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, people like that, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior. When there are people that, wrestlers, superstars that the people can get behind and want to watch because they are so entertained by them, that's when wrestling draws the most money. And that has been proven fact. The NWO drew Nitro's highest ratings because it was cutting edge. You had guys from the WWE go over to WCW and basically try to take over WCW, and it was interesting. It got people's attention, and they basically talked a lot of shit. Kevin Nash, X-Pac, who was known then as Six, they talked a lot of shit about the veterans like Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and how guys, when Kevin Nash was there previously as Vinny Vegas, he never got an opportunity to shine. Scott Hall, he never got an opportunity to shine when he was previously in WCW. And they talked a lot of shit, and they brought up valid points about how the guys, the veterans, like the Four Horsemen and stuff like that, kept them down. They brought up valid arguments, all right, and it garnered interest because it was true. And that's what people want to see in wrestling. They want to see something that they can relate to, but they also want to see something that's cool and fucking awesome and edgy. They want to see something that's going to make them want to watch the next week. I don't know what's so hard for you dumbass internet wrestling fans to grasp about this. I don't know why you guys can't grasp this fact. This has always been the case. Even in the new generation, the in your house era, wrestling was at a low point. And even then you had some characters that were better. Obviously, I'm talking about like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, even Psycho Sid, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon was a really cool character. Diesel and stuff. I mean, even then you had better characters. Granted, you had a lot of shit like Mantar. You had Gobbledygooker. You had a lot of dumb shit. Red Rooster, all this, a lot of crap. But at the same time, you did have some cool gimmicks. And even at that point, WWF, at the time, the World Wrestling Federation, was about to go out of business because people were sick of the cheesy, kid-friendly crap. All right? And it's the same thing today. I would argue it's worse. I mean, when I look at WWE now in its current state, the only people I could really mark out for are really Dean Ambrose. I mean, Randy Orton's, he's cool, but what else is there for him to do? I mean, Roman Reigns he's worse than Diesel. I'll make an argument right here. Kevin Nash as Diesel was better than Roman Reigns, period. That is not up for debate. John Cena, come on. That's too easy. We can easily destroy him. Daniel Bryan, I mean, come on. He's for, the internet fans and the nerds, all right? The people who praise Ring of Honor and praise that in-ring technical style. That's who, the Chris Benoit fanboys, that's who Daniel Bryan appeals to. All right, he doesn't appeal to the mainstream masses. He doesn't appeal to casual fans. He doesn't appeal. Forget the casual fans, forget the mainstream. He doesn't appeal to people who used to watch wrestling but don't anymore because they're sick of it and they think it sucks. People who used to watch wrestling religiously no longer give a shit, and I'm one of those people. because the WWE fucking sucks. All right? So I can't speak on Sami Zayn. I haven't seen him. I haven't watched Raw or NXT. But the fact that Vince Russo's argument is the fact that, he's not that great on the mic. He doesn't have a character. He's just another wrestler in tights. He's absolutely right. Because you can't have a thriving wrestling industry with bland characters. There is a reason why people would rather mark out for Rob Van Dam over Jerry Lynn in the original ECW. Yes, you had some people saying he was the new effing show, but Rob Van Dam was the whole effing fucking show. He was the whole damn show. He was, everything. Look at his ring attire. Look at that cool dragon. Look at that cool fucking art style. Look at that. All his ring attires were fucking badass. His Ghost Rider tribute ring attire, I love that one. He wore that when he wrestled in Japan. And no homo. Not like we're looking at wrestlers' tights, but you have to have something in this business. You have to be cool. You have to be somebody that people want to aspire to be like. No one aspires to be like Sami Zayn. No one, except the internet fans. No. And even Rob Van Dam didn't have that much mic skills. Like, his mic skills weren't that great. He was just a laid back. His character was basically like the original ECW's Johnny Cage. He was cocky, arrogant, cool. He was kind of like a Tony Stark, but, not Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, but he was a cool, cocky, arrogant badass. He wasn't the best on the mic like a Stone Cold or a Rock. He didn't have as much charisma as they did, but he got the job done. There was a lot of people who watched the original ECW just for Rob Van Dam. You could also look at like Brock Lesnar. Yeah, he doesn't have the best mic skills. You listen to him on the mic, come on. But the guy knew how to get people interested in the product because he was a badass. He was cool. He was a big, brolic, white, fucking former UFC champion. Even in his previous run in the WWE, he was destroying people. He was booked like a monster. And you have to have something in this business that people are going to be invested in. All right? Brock Lesnar and Rob Van Dam were not the best on the mic, but they got asses in seats. All right? People thought Rob Van Dam was cool. People thought RVD was cool. They thought his moveset was cool. And no, it wasn't just his moveset. It was just the extreme style that he perfected. He blended in his martial arts background with high-flying ability. Brock Lesnar, he was obviously an amateur wrestler, former NCAA champion. He had credibility. And he came into wrestling, he became a powerhouse. He had some cool tattoos. He looked like a badass. Period. And you need something in this business. I've seen pictures of Sami Zayn, and I'm just looking at, oh my God, another internet darling, another idiot, another wrestler that these IWC idiots are going to claim to and praise and overrate, because we've seen this before, just like Austin Aries, just like Lance Storm, just like all these other people you prayed for in the past and said they were excellent, and they never drew a fucking dime. And they never got people to want to watch wrestling religiously. And that has been proven fact. Daniel Bryan does not draw people to want to watch wrestling religiously. Okay? And when guys like Vince Russo, and hell, even Paul Heyman said this. Even Paul Heyman knows that you need a character. Notice like how many guys he had in ECW. When you look at ECW, when you look at the original ECW, all right, look at the original ECW here for a minute. You had guys like Sabu, who was crazy. He did high-flying, death-defying moves. He wasn't the best technical wrestler. Sandman, he was never a great technical wrestler. The fuck? He was basically the Stone Cold before there was Stone Cold. All right, Raven. All right, that was one of Paul Heyman's like best character. He's even gone on record and saying he loved the Raven character. All right? And Raven never did a bunch of technical wrestling. He never did a whole bunch of high spots and flips and dives and all this crap that you idiots keep claiming. Paul, and you people claim you're Paul Heyman guys. Paul Heyman knows this to be true. Hell, Jim Cornette knows that you need a gimmick in this business. You have to have something. You can't just be some internet darling. And that's what most people in the IWC, YWC fail to fucking realize, because they are that retarded and they have nothing else going for themselves aside from watching wrestling. And it's pretty fucking pathetic, if I do say so myself. So, you know, let's get back to Russo here. Let's get back to fucking Vince Russo, man. You know, everyone wants to bring up his past. He killed WCW. He almost killed TNA. All the no. Okay, first off, if Paul Heyman was in WCW in 2000, he would not have saved WCW. Okay? There's no one could have saved WCW. Jim Cornette, no one you guys can think of could have saved WCW. No one. All right? Those not the guaranteed contracts, but the fact that you had guys like Hulk Hogan, Nash, all these other people having creative control in their contracts. Creative control, meaning they decide what goes and what they're going to do and not going to do. You know, that was a fucking problem, and there's no way you could work around that. That's not Vince Russo's fault. That is Eric Bischoff's fault. That is Ted Turner's fault. That's WCW as a whole, their fault for allowing them to give free reign to their creative characters. That is not Vince Russo's fault. There's nothing he could have done to save that company. And as far as TNA is concerned, he actually did good shit in TNA. All right? That again was not his fault. He actually had an idea. And I might even put a link in the description to this video. He actually had an idea, a great idea, about how they should bring in guys from Ring of Honor, Japan, and other, you know, companies and stuff to basically fight for Spike TV's airtime. That could have been an interesting storyline. That could have been great stuff. You know, imagine, I'll let you watch the video for yourself. I'm going to put a link in the description. But that was actually a really great idea for a storyline. You know, having Ring of Honor guys fight TNA guys, that would have got Ring of Honor fans, that would have got TNA fans to get interested in. And we could have had a real great product. But, you know, I mean, for whatever reason, Spike didn't think that Ring of Honor had top guys. So, you know, and they don't have top guys. But that wasn't the point. And Russo even said that wasn't the point. The fact that Ring of Honor was going to fight TNA for airtime. And you can have interesting characters and storylines develop. I mean, you could see like Kenny King fighting, you know, like Robert Roode or somebody like that, you know, for airtime. I mean, you could have made storylines develop. It could have been, you know, interesting. It could have been like an interesting invasion storyline. The TNA guys could be like, we've been here for the long haul. Who the hell are these Ring of Honor guys to come in here? They think they could take our spot, our hard work and stuff. And the Ring of Honor guys could say, you fucking guys have been stale as shit. Your ratings are only at a 0.8. And that we're actually the future of the wrestling business and stuff like that. It could have got real good. It could have got real interesting. And then, you know, and that was Spike's fault. That wasn't Russo's fault. A lot of Russo booked TNA in 2009. And I know a lot of you guys, I personally thought TNA in 2009 could have been better, but a lot of you guys loved TNA in 2009. And that was all Vince Russo. That was Vince fucking Russo. All right? A lot of good stuff. I mean, even in the early TNA days, he was a great on-air character with the whole sex storyline, the SEX, Sports Entertainment Extreme. That was good shit. That was good. That was compelling, entertaining heat. I mean, he came in with that, he killed WCW heat, and he worked with it. And he got that shit over. Everyone was booing Russo. That was good stuff. So for all you marks that literally think Vince Russo is a cancer to the wrestling industry, You need to have your brains examined, because Russo actually has contributed more good than bad to the wrestling industry. And if you actually did your research and looked things up, you would know that. No, not all his ideas were perfect. Fucking Viagra on a pole was stupid. Putting the belt on David Arquette was stupid. But let me tell you something. All right, if I was in Vince Russo's shoe and I had an opportunity to sign like a Seth Rogen or James Franco or Will Ferrell or Steve Carell or somebody along those lines, a big star in Hollywood, hell, even Kanye West. I hate Kanye West, but if I knew for a fact that he could get heel heat, he could get as much heat as he has with the mainstream media. If I could make Kanye West WWE or TNA champion just to piss off a lot of people and get heat and attention, I would do it myself. I guarantee you Vince Russo would do the same thing. I would do the same thing, because that's going to bring in ratings, which brings in revenue. All right, that's what you wrestling idiots don't get. All right, that's what you need to realize. This is a business. All right, if I had an opportunity to make Seth Rogen and James Franco the TNA Tag Team Champions, I would do it, because that's going to bring publicity to this company. All right, David Arquette was a bad example because he's not a celebrity. He's a C-list celebrity. That's like bringing in a fucking reality TV show star that no one cares about and making them TNA champion. No, that's not going to get any press. That's not a big deal. Okay, making Seth Rogen and James Franco TNA Tag Team Champions, or Kanye West a fucking world champion, that's actually going to garner controversy. So I see what Vince Russo was saying, but I disagree with him, because David Arquette was not a good choice. He's not going to get attention. That's not going to draw interest to the company. I mean, hell, you know, but that's just my opinion on that, but Russo, his formula he's done. I mean, let's face facts. If Ring of Honor was on Spike TV or USA or Fox or any other network you could think of, MTV, whatever, they would get 0.8s as well, because no one gives a shit about technical wrestling. No one gives a shit about bland vanilla midgets with no character and no charisma. Or hell, not even, just forget, you don't even need to have charisma and mic skills. You don't even have a presence. You don't have a look. You don't have any cool ring attire like RVD or The Undertaker during his Ministry of Darkness era with that badass gothic attire. You don't have anything. You don't have a foot to stand on. All right? You're just another schmuck midget, black or white, vanilla midget, or Hispanic, Mexican, in the business with no charisma and nothing going for yourself that's going to make you sell out arenas, period. All right? Sami Zayn, hey, he can have potential. He could do something that gets him over. He could do something like shocking or controversial that'll get himself over. He could develop better mic skills. But right now, from what Vince Russo was saying, he didn't bring it. And he even said that wasn't Sami Zayn's fault. That was WWE Creative's fault. And I agree, because WWE Creative hasn't done anything amazing in the past 10 years. CM Punk's pipe bomb, he did that on himself. Sting coming in at Survivor Series 2014, that was inevitable. All right, those are the two biggest things. Brock Lesnar coming back in 2012. All right, those were the biggest things people talked about in wrestling. Nothing has topped any of those three things in the past 10 years. All right, except maybe it's 2015, so 2005. Except maybe ECW's One Night Stand. Except maybe that, or Kevin Federline in WWE, or Edge having sex with Lita. That nothing captivating has captured the audiences to want to watch Raw or SmackDown in the past 10 years, aside from stuff that was controversial or stuff that was just a big deal. All right? And that's what the wrestling business is all about. It's about taking controversy That's what it is now. It's not like it was in the 80s. It's not like it was back in the 70s when you had all this technical. And even back then, even Lou Thez said wrestling was a way to make money. He even said that you needed a character. You had to have something in order to get over. All right? So, I mean, come on. I mean, even Jim Cornette said you need to have a character. He even said that. He even said the UFC needs to focus more on trash talking. All right, so who the fuck is gonna watch two boring vanilla midgets who are goody two shoes wrestling a boring technical match? Who's gonna want to watch that aside from you fucking nerds on the internet? When you can answer that question, then you'll have an opinion, a relevant opinion. Until then, your opinion is known and void. It doesn't mean shit. I'm out. Later.